Alright, welcome back to Kamen Review, episode 256. Well, we're not discussing a new episode of the series, that's going to be Zex. That'll be discussed at the Watch Witch at Adler episode 2. So, we're here discussing this. The Kamen 01, well, this is a collection that collects the entire Force Unlimited series that was published originally by Stonebite Manga, but translated by Titan Books. It's only 4 issues, this book, and it is set in the continuity of the TV show. From what I've read, this is set not long after the events of the opening arc, except that how the people here are just a little weird. So, we have Ataru, Vulcan, we have Atu, Fua, Issa, and we have Brittany Care. By the way, it's translated by, written by Brandon Easton, who is the translator of this one. So basically our characters, Ataru, Fua, Yua, Izu, and our brand new villain, Ragnarok, only exists in this one miniseries. He never in the show. And of course they transform, fight the rogue Hemigears. There's also about the battle, they mentioned one thing, the battle against Megatron. I'm sure this is probably like in between basic episodes 15, 16, but of course, as a joke, and of course, they have to deal with this new character named Ragnarok. Now, of course, in the comic here, he refers himself as Kamen 01. In the show, he just refers himself as simply 01. That's a slight error from the comic. Oh, look, a narrator. And this is Kamen Ragnarok. That's him. I did hear the reception of one person mention this book is quite boring. Very disappointing. I found this quite interesting. So, a lot of this book is basically 01 fighting Ragnarok. He does the shark one, and he does get frozen, and of course, everyone comes by. He, of course, gets down and tries to harm Isa, but looking at basically 01 basically stops him. And he apparently pops it like he goes like he's Dr. Octopus, tries to fire at him. But looking up, basically, he's stopped by Hanabi, which, after the events of the show, he should be in custody of Ames, but no, he's probably escaped. This is probably off-screen battle during the events of the battle thing, because this is probably later on between that, because Hanabi's back here. Though, yeah, here's Hanabi. Jin's here too, except he's in his Arc 1 outfit, despite the fact that when this arc this is supposed to take place, he's wearing a suit. Like Pharaoh, President Altu, and of course the 2 writers show up. Though Fua, I should point out though, the artwork basically does get Fua right, but not Yua. Yua, for some reason, the artist decided to draw her with a ponytail. Despite the fact in the show, she never had one. Nope, never did. They just probably drew it her because why not? And I mentioned the whole thing about this adoptive father who was a Hemigear. Issa's hair. And if you're curious, does she do a little thing with her hands? On the cover she does, but in the book does she actually do a thing where she... And most of her hands and the sides are not like doing this, because that's what she normally does in the show. So Ragnarok basically proceeds to... this thing here, Secret Headquarters of Madra.net. Not exactly, no. It's like the artist... I'm guessing the artists probably have vague idea what the show was and have characters. They do act in character. I do appreciate the writer remembering how the characters act. But it's like the artists themselves basically have vague idea what stuff looks like. And they have to do with, of course, the Rogue Hemigears here. Because, why not? They have Altaredia's motorcycle, which I forgot to mention. During Arc 2, he never once used the damn thing. It's like he used it a handful of times, and they just dropped it from the show. Which I do appreciate them actually remembering the artist. Oh yeah, he starts with this, then becomes a motorcycle. Then he does the Akira slide, which I thought was really cool. He did that. He also nips one. He also the first time he did as well. He sits right back in the motorcycle, and then, of course, they go to Mount Fuji. Yes, Mount Fuji, not frickin' Daybreak. In the show, like for the first 30 episodes, they love going back Daybreak. They love showing that place because So then, of course, you see Isa basically doing some action, which she never really does much in the show. She's a very fast runner, but she never does much action. There's a progress key, which Ragnarok tries to take. But at the end, of course, Ragnarok is the... Now, then here's something that never happened in this show. I don't know if this happened in the last couple arcs, but, well, Thula and Yuna didn't have motorcycles. This is a complete made up for the book. Yeah, Atsu definitely did, but here too, nope. First time I've seen it was two motorcycles. I guess the artists decided to give them motorcycles because they're commoners. And here's something also wrong. Taking off their helmets while wearing their suits. It's like, did the artists not watch the show? This has not happened. Unless, of course, you're G3. Then does the Mammoth key, which, yeah, after the first arc, he stopped using the damn thing. Not sure why, he just did. So then he's defeated. And then we see Jin here wearing his Part 1 attire. It's the headquarters of Marja.net, which, this being where it is, I'm guessing this is probably like, they say this is not only after the events of the first arc. Doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's later in the show because there's no mention of Zaya here. This could be after the show, but I highly doubt that. But who knows, like, when this takes place? I am assuming this is probably at some point later on the show. I only read it now because basically I'm watching 01. The comic itself is not bad, except there's a bunch of artist errors. Like, artistic license for this book. Like, I do appreciate all three writers themselves. 01, Vulcan, and Valkyrie. They all look perfectly fine. I like the way they look. Archer looks perfectly fine. He's drawn perfectly fine. His face is a little different. He doesn't show, but that's fine. So, here's a list of errors I saw in the book that I felt as though that it didn't feel like it fit not only after the events of the first arc. One example is Fua had a ponytail. Never had one I saw in the show. And plus, after the first arc, she went back working for Saya. Number 2, her and Fua had motorcycles. Never had those in the show. 3, Jin in the new headquarters despite the fact that he was captured. And 4, Jin being his Part 1 uniform, despite the fact at the time we think this is place, he's wearing a suit and doesn't have the headset anymore. Nope. But yeah, I did enjoy the book overall. Ragnarok I thought was a pretty cool character. You just made one note, but I thought his look was fantastic. Okay, so that's pretty much that particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up, Witch Adler. Okay, next go. Bye.